Now, our first report for this season of Smart Health is about prescription drug abuse and the growing number of pain clinics here in Florida. I've been pretty lucky in life never to have much pain until, ironically, just as I was working on this piece, I was in a terrible accident. I was hit by a van and dragged, and as you can see, I suffered a broken leg and some other injuries. It's been pretty painful. I am doing okay, but I have had to use some pain medication. Now, doctors say there is a need for these pain pills when used appropriately, but unfortunately, all too often, we're seeing easy availability drive addiction, not need.
It sucks them into this vortex of addiction.
It escalated so fast. It was just like, I want more and more and more.
Uncontrollable brain candy.
I was so miserable, wanted to die.
I'm Dr. John Thogmartin. I'm District 6 Medical Examiner and I perform forensic autopsies. Of the autopsies I perform, about 1/3 are related to prescription drugs.
In 2009, prescription drugs landed nearly 2,500 people here on a table in a morgue in Florida. That's roughly 7 deaths per day. The most common killers: oxycodone, methadone, benzodiazepines. Probably pills many of you have in your own medicine cabinet today. Pinellas and Pasco County Medical Examiner Dr. John Thogmartin has seen a dramatic escalation in drug-related deaths over the past few years.
I'd say this week around, the day before yesterday, we had 9, and out of those 4 were drug overdoses.
Dr. Thogmartin says prescription drug use has all but replaced illicit drug use like heroin and cocaine. And he says it can be even more deadly because people get a false sense of security.
Well, if a doctor gives it to you with a prescription, you think you're safe, you think you're okay. And I can tell you tons and tons of people are taking it under a doctor's care and they OD.
He's also concerned about how easy prescription drugs are to get. The number of pain clinics in Florida has skyrocketed in the last 5 years.
It'll kill you. I see it every day, and you don't want to see me.
If I wouldn't have gotten help, I know that I would not have survived.
Laura, just 21 years old, was almost one of the medical examiner's statistics.
It scares me, but I also look back and I am so grateful I was not one of them. Yellow. Yellow, yeah.
It was her little girl, Sydney, now 2, and the threat of losing her that helped save Laura. Were you still using there?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was when it started getting out of control.
An all-American girl, pretty, smart, with a promising life ahead. Laura was just 17 when she met a boy at a party and a new group of friends. That was the first night you met?
Yep.
Now look how young
you
you
look.
look.
Yeah.
Oh, Laura had already tried Xanax at her private high school. Now came marijuana, then the powerful addictive opiate, OxyContin.
It took me off guard. I never would have expected it would have hit me that hard.
It just got a hold of you so quickly.
And after a month, I couldn't stop.
Around that time, Laura discovered she was 2 months pregnant, and then that young man she met, now her fiancé, committed suicide.
Yeah, he hung himself. Yeah, so it was it's really hard.
Her drug use spiraled.
I couldn't think about anything else, and I didn't care about anything else or anyone else.
She was hooked, each day a mission to find drugs and avoid the feelings of withdrawal if she couldn't find a fix.
I would have severe pain over my body. I mean, worse than flu. I'd be nauseous, I would throw up, I would be hot and cold, I'd be irritable. I literally thought I was dying.
Weighing just 90 pounds, miserable and racked with guilt over her baby daughter, Laura knew she had to do something. She told her dad she wanted help. He enrolled her in residential rehab here at Turning Point of Tampa.
And her reaction is to run.
Executive Director Robin Piper says prescription drugs are the most common addiction they see these days.
It's escalating tremendously, frighteningly over the last several years.
And the addicts are getting younger. How young?
Well, 18, 19, 20, early 20s I'd say was probably the average.
How much do you think pain clinics are contributing to the problem?
I think they're a huge part of the problem. It's absolutely all about availability.
It makes her angry because she's seen so many young lives like Laura's being ruined by what she calls greed.
Quite simply, it's just a money-making business. It's destroying people's lives. And pharmaceutical companies and doctors are just getting richer, and people, they're losing their kids.
Tell me when it hurts your back, your low back.
Dr. David Vanderkar runs a pain clinic in Tampa. He insists not all pain clinics are pill mills and blames some doctors for not doing more to stop abuse.
You have to weed out people who are doctor shoppers, people that are gaming the system, or they're after medication simply to get high.
So, doctor,
His office has put into place an elaborate system to do just that, including video surveillance cameras in patient rooms and even the hallway leading up to the office.
A patient will be in, for example, with a cane, and they'll have a bit of a limp, and then we look at the camera that I have in the hallway as they're leaving the office, and I watch them all of a sudden start to walk very quickly without a cane.
Wow, so this is a check and balance that you put on your patients.
Absolutely.
Dr. Vanderkar says after a strict screening process, he accepts only 1 out of 5 or 6 patients.
Miguel, what I've decided to do for you is to give you 3 medications.
On this day, wounded military veteran Miguel Rodriguez makes it through the screening, getting powerful narcotics, including oxycodone and methadone, to control his pain.
It's long-acting, and so you don't feel like you're on a roller coaster. You get very stable pain control with it.
Dr. Vanderkar explains how the drugs work and educates the patient on potential dangers.
You never want to be overly sedated, because that's what causes people to get into trouble.
Dr. Vanderkar has dozens of letters from patients who say chronic pain management has given them their lives back. But even with all his safeguards, he is blunt to say nothing is foolproof. Have you had patients OD?
I've had a few. I have. These things are going to happen. You know, the only way that you can bring it down to 0 would be not to help people who are in pain. Push.
Miguel, who suffers chronic pain after 20 surgeries on his feet, says he is not worried about becoming an addict.
if I have a doctor that is properly overseeing me and I'm adhering to what he's prescribing and following his direction, then I should be comfortable with that.
Silly, yeah.
As for Laura, now clean and sober for more than 6 months and doing outpatient rehab, she still struggles at times with the desire to use.
I've watched a lot of people around me lately relapse, and it scares me how easily it happens. And I don't want to go back to that life.
1, 2, 3, jump.
It will be a lifelong battle, but Sydney gives Laura strength, and she is hopeful for the future.
I want to give her a healthy life and a happy life, and I want that for myself. I know that I can do a lot with my life.
A new statewide prescription drug database is in the process of going online in Florida. It's supposed to help prevent doctor shopping by tracking the number of prescriptions each patient gets filled.